Welcome to the Harriers Arms. We're joined by Boss, Mr. Russ Penn. This is at Non-Gride Shame. We're just living life right now.
I'll tell you what, my hand looks good on that phone.
I know, right? Should we take a photo?
I'll tell you, I like the lighting on that, mate. It's good. I must have some. I've got some LEDs above there.
Absolutely. Russ, I want to say firstly, thank you for coming back to Kidderminster Harriers and saving the day, which is, I think that's fair to say. You've saved the day, man. We're in the playoffs already. I mean, was that the goal at the beginning of the season?
When you say coming back, well, I come back 3 years ago, obviously as a player, to kind of see out my career and have some good couple of years in the game. Didn't quite work out that way. Jumped on as assistant manager under John Pemberton and Jimmy Shan. Yeah. And then fortunately, got the opportunity to take charge through COVID year, which was really, really tough. But I think the ambitions at the start of the season were to be competitive, and I think that's all I said. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I think you were that.
Well, we finished 15th in the full season before this. Yeah. Which is way below par, but also with a new owner, obviously me and Jimmy coming in. Yeah. We didn't want to be too ambitious, and we didn't know where our budget stood. So I think being top half competitive was got to be a good year, and then we'll move on to achieve what we've achieved this year so far. He's been fantastic and something we're really proud of.
Absolutely. Have you got your badges, or do you just play a lot of Champman? Bit of football manager, is that what you did?
Bit of both. So, that was my own work in school days, champ manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
The old Hewlett Packard.
Oh,
put the CD.
Oh, yes.
And have all night there.
Yeah. Wait for it to load.
Didn't quite go to the lengths of wearing a shirt and tie in the cup final, like a few friends of mine.
Yeah, I know people have done that.
But no, I did all my coaching badges while I was playing, so I'm an A licence holder along with Jim as well. So it's been great for us to come out of the game knowing that we've got our full badges. We're one off the top badge really, which is a pro licence, which you've got to be invited for.
So, like when AC Milan come calling, you're going to need that badge, or can you go?
No, you can go anywhere. But what they usually do, they usually pay the 15 grand to get it done for you. So I don't think we're in that category at the moment.
Oh, that's such a shame. Right, Russ, it's been amazing to have you here. Let's talk about you, the footballer. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember those days?
Just about, mate.
Do you remember that?
Still try to do one.
I know I don't have this question down, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Have you ever thought, right, you've got a lot of injuries in the squad, have you ever thought, do you know what, Jimmy, let's register, man, let's give it a go, let's get the old band back together again?
Have we thought about it?
Yeah, of course you have.
I think we might have had a 1% when we had a really bad injury in January, an injury list. But then the other 99% was saying, now they're going to be a laughing stock here. So I think we've brushed that under the carpet straight away. No, we haven't thought about it. We are where we are. Yeah. We're just not fit enough anymore. I've certainly piled on the pounds a little bit, but we've got full control of what the players want to do and the academy as well.
Best game you ever played in as a player? Doesn't have to be a Harriers game.
No, I'll say the best game I've played. I always liked high profile games. Yeah. Going to Wembley with Kidderminster and Wembley with Cheltenham, losing both of them, that was not nice. But high profile games, we played Spurs away in the FA Cup, third round, and that was a sellout. So days like that, you don't forget.
Who was in the Spurs team? Do you remember? Of course you do.
Yeah, no more. Jermaine Defoe, Cranshaw, Pienaar, Dawson, King. Great day.
I love that. I've asked this question to the players a lot. You've probably seen it. What were your first pair of football boots, and do you still own them, Russ?
Right, okay, I don't own them, no. I had a pair of Patrick boots that were given to me from a friend. But then I went on to your Puma Kings.
Nice.
The old classics with the tongue. Yeah. And the white tick, but I actually had the yellow ones with the yellow design, so I was a little bit different, studs. Doesn't matter how hard the ground was, I wear studs. So those were me, and until I went as a whitey and the new Night Vapors come out, which were like socks, that's what I went on to in the end.
We've scored a lot, but which one's your goal of the season? Now, you can say whichever one, and he's not being favourite to any person, by the way, I'm just letting the players know, they'll probably watch this. But what was your favourite goal of the season?
I'm going to be boring here and sit on my fence.
Come on.
Yeah, I like set piece goals.
Do you?
I like corners because we work a lot on them. I think when it comes off, you're just really proud of what you've done, really.
Nice.
listen, we know Amari Sterling can shoot from 40 yards and score top corners. I see him do it in training every day, so does it surprise me? No, he just does it in front of a crowd. So set pieces, I like the Alex Penny against Telford, so I'm going to go with that one because of the movement, the block, the dummy runs, all worked out. So Alex Penny, Telford at home.
Do you remember Sam Austin's goal against Gloucester? We were losing 1-0 and I was there. I drove for like nearly 3 hours to get there on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be great. I haven't seen them win this season, but it's going to be great. And then we were losing 1-0.
Yeah.
What did you say at half time?
A few home truths, to be honest. I remember we weren't very good, and we did put it down to a little bit of the AstroTurf as well because it was a bit zippy that night. We couldn't get Nathan Cameron couldn't get his feet going. Baj Rami couldn't get his feet going. But as soon as I think that the pivotal moment was scoring so early in the second half of Hemmings, and then there was only going to be one winner. Then we were in full throttle, and again one of the top goals of the season, individual goals of the season.
Sammy Austin.
How much of a challenge is that actually playing on the 3 jigs? We've done it a few times this season at Carlson where...
Yeah, I don't like it personally. I would never like to have played on it competitively. You do it a lot more in non-league than you do in the league. Obviously, you're not allowed in the league. So it's challenging because it all depends on the weather as well. You have a hot day in Bradford and it's very sticky. And then you have a wet night on a Tuesday in Gloucester and it's so quick, wear away. It was so quick. It was like playing on glass sometimes. Yeah. So you just got to be... and manage it really. We try and prepare really well the week and we try and train on Astro, building up to that game, but we're still going off the weather elements as well.
What is a day in the life of Russ Penn like? Now you can choose work day or day off.
Well, I don't have a day off to be honest. I'm always working. I think let's go for today's example. Got up at 6:30. Was at the club for about 7:15, setting up training with Jim. We have a presentation meeting on Guiseley today, and then we'll train for a couple of hours, assess what we've done, and Friday's a short day for me really, so apart from doing this with yourselves, we will be done pretty early on a Friday, as all our work's done now. It's all about prepping for tomorrow.
Absolutely. What about time off? Oh, you don't have any time. You must have what? Your missus must go, Russ, listen, I want to go shopping or something.
Yeah.
She must say that. And the kids...
she does a lot online now, mate. I've got 2 kids.
A lot online, yes.
I've got 2 kids. I'll tell you what my time is. I go swimming tonight on a Friday night with the kids. I don't go swimming myself, I watch them.
Okay.
And then Sunday morning my boy plays rugby. So I like to just turn my phone off and watch them sports then. Apart from that, mate, I'm just on the phone or watching games or... all the bits and bobs. I like going out for a meal every now and then.
Now, I watched a video of you after Matty, is it Stenson? When the striker, when he left?
Matty Stenson.
Yeah, and you said, I knew it was coming and I always dread it. Is that something you have to contend with the whole time? Or is there a certain amount of time you're going to have him no matter what? Is he contracted? He's got to be here for 4 weeks at least?
Yes, the rule is for any loan, you get a 28-day non-callback, so that's standard. So you've got them for 4 weeks, but any day after 28, I think it makes sense, was 29, they're open for a callback. But that's the same from our side as well. So I get it. That's the risk you take with loans, and not your player.
That's true.
So these are the risks you go with. You can't even get it written in that you take that out. It's just law basically.
How? Oh, this is a great question. Do you still have a footballer's protein-based diet? Yes.
I definitely have a footballer's diet still. I eat like a footballer.
Okay.
Which is eat too much.
Yep.
Pasta.
Yep.
Now I'm not burning that pasta off. That's the trouble. Trying to keep myself relatively fit, but what can I say? I enjoy the non-football side of the strict diets. So I pretty much eat what I want now, when I want, which is great. I love my food. Yes and no really is the answer to that. You've
seen the questions where I always say, right guys, I always use you as an example. I'm like, Russ has said you can have all the calories you like tonight, what are you having? And they always have Chinese.
Yeah.
Why is this?
So salty. I think, you know what, I think in the week the footballer's diet is very bland. It's very chicken, pasta.
Yeah.
Protein shakes, cereal, yogurts. It's very bland, very good for you, fruit. So when you go to a Saturday night and basically, and the scientists will tell you this, get as much food as you can into you to replenish.
Yeah.
Chinese have just got such a vast menu I think it ticks every box, mate. So my favourite's the Chinese as well. So.
We asked Mark Carrington, man like Carra, that question, and he literally just gave us his order.
Yeah.
And at the end he's like, bosh. He ordered about 10 things, I think, at the end. It was
China Lodge, we are after sponsorship if you're listening.
Yeah, China Lodge. Alex Penny was on about China Lodge, so now, have you been to China Lodge?
I don't. Is that kiddie based?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Starbridge based, so I'm more Golden Star.
Okay, if you listen. Do you and Jimmy play good cop, bad cop?
We don't aim to.
Yeah.
But it just naturally happens because I think that's probably how we work, really.
Yeah.
Listen, we ain't bad cops at all, but I'll be honest with everybody. If they're not doing it, I'll tell them they're not doing it. If it needs to be firmer words than that, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I think we're just honest. We're an honest bunch. We're an honest pair. And I've heard so much fluff in my career. People trying to keep you happy and saying things to tick you over for a couple of days and to keep you sweet. That I just don't think it gets you anywhere. I'd rather be straight with the players, and I think they're all for that.
Being a manager now, as opposed to being a player, does the fans' attitude towards the team, do you see it a different way now? Like when you're a player, you're thinking, oh yeah, whatever, they're just doing whatever. Or now you're a manager, do you take it on board more?
You do, because they're calling for your end when you lose the game. So I think that's only natural as a manager. You book stops for you, basically. What I have said, and we said at the start of our managerial career path, is this club's got such a good fan base. We need to connect with it more. I think we've certainly done that. Yeah. Albeit, it's all results based. But when results are going well, you've got to kind of jump on that as well. And I think this is the best connection a team's had with the fans in a very long time.
Just have to be honest, I don't blow my own trumpet here, but the thing, that we're doing, when we interview the players and stuff, we get so much great feedback from people saying, oh, I didn't realise this, didn't know that. In fact, it was Amari, it was Hemo, who told us about the carpool sharing stuff. I had no idea that players came from that far away to play for Harriers. I had no idea.
Yeah. Listen, we've been lucky to get those players from locations. Listen, we've got accommodation in Kidderminster where we have a house that can put up 3 to 4 players, which is great. It's part of the budget and it's a big tool for us in terms of bringing players in from afar. If not, we'd be very Midland, even West Midland based.
Yeah.
So it just dip into the market of the northern stratosphere.
Yeah.
And I think it served us well, but it might not always be the case, but at the moment it is.
Shane, you had a good question about managing players that you played with. Is that a struggle, or did you have to go a different way, like Mark Carrington?
Keith Lowe especially, been everywhere with him.
Yeah, I think I've played with about 4 or 5 of our players. I don't find it a struggle. I think that's what brought them in the first place, was myself and Jimmy. Keith Lowe's probably the hardest because he's probably one of my best mates out of football as well.
Oh wow, okay.
So, we never go personal, but you have to touch a nerve sometimes with certain things, but he respects that and I respect him. So managing their players, you've got to get the right players in. So your Mark Carrington is very easy to manage.
Yeah.
Your Morgan Smith, your Lewis Montrose is very easy to manage because they're good people. So no, not a problem.
That was one of the questions I had, which you've just touched upon, was what would a player have to bring to the table to get into your Kidderminster Harriers team?
First and foremost, you've got to be a good player.
Yeah, be really awesome. Awesome.
You've got to have good values. That's why we meet every player that we decide to sign. First and foremost, we never go blind. We've gone blind once this season, it hasn't worked out, so never again.
Okay.
Got to be fit, robust.
Who's the fittest player in the squad?
It's not you. Sam Austin, Caleb Richards.
Really?
We've got some fit players, though, to be fair. They're all different ages. Football, it's a different fitness. Nathan Cameron's fitness is different to Sam Austin's fitness. It's more power.
He's got massive fitness.
It's more strength. Sam Austin's more robust. He's quick. He's agile. Different fitness.
Now, this question, when I sent you some of the questions, I think this is the question that got you to want to come on here. So,
I forgot all those questions you were going to ask me now, so this is
good.
Makes me nervous.
Okay, good. You should be nervous, actually. It's about time you were. Would Russ Penn, the manager, sign Russ Penn, the player?
Yes.
God, that's a good guy. Yes, he would.
No
I think Mark Carrington alluded to that actually, didn't he, the other week?
Yeah.
No question.
You've not seen that. Mark Carrington. They all send me nice things about you. I don't know why he is.
Is it not? It just contrasts are coming up, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd definitely sign me and Jimmy.
Yeah.
And we'd be starting every week.
What
no.
position?
I think in my prime, yes. Jimmy in his prime, yes.
Yeah.
But listen, that's what some of our values are, is what we've learned from the past with us in the teams and some of the shapes we play. So I weren't the best footballer in the world, but I was.
Oh no,
I was
in my
fit.
eyes you were, pal.
I was fit and had an eye for a long range goal. So, listen, I love coaching these boys at the moment, and it's nice that they say nice things about me.
Do you get a certain sense of satisfaction from if you do a really great day of coaching and stuff? Do you go and go, do you know what? Yeah, you have a Chinese to celebrate with what's whole. Is that what you do?
Do you know what? We get a lot of crap in football,
Yeah.
which people don't see. You know, you've got your social media, you've got people talking and upstairs, downstairs, and I think it's very rewarding when you have a good day on the training field. I love being on the training field. The pressure's off a little bit.
Yeah.
The players' pressure's off as well. There's a lot more happy faces. But saying that, there's no better feeling than a 5 o'clock on a Saturday when you've won and you've played well. At 3 o'clock, I don't know what world I'm on, to be honest. I'm in a different mentality, but at 5 o'clock and you've won, you feel a real sense of pride if it's come off what you've tried to do.
How hard is that, just to block out all the noise? 'Cause we all know it's easy to be on the bandwagon when it's all going great.
Yeah.
But then when it doesn't go so great, it's
We
the
have
first
to-
thing people do is to jump on social media. Then
Yeah, and listen, it's up to you if you want to read it. So, you know, I'm one of these that's open to it when it's going well and going poor. So I'm fine with that. I try to keep a level. When you're winning and you're losing, I never got too high. I think you saw that going to the West Ham game. It was never up there and then down there the week after. I was more proud of the Telford 1-0 win the week after than I was of our West Ham performance, because I know how mentally challenging that can be. Through the month of March was hard, yeah, but you've got to keep a level of consistency for the players to see that you're always the one leading. So yeah, what I've learnt big time is don't get too high, don't get too low, because at the end of the day you've got to go back into training the next day and lead from the front.
when you're speaking to that, I remember Gateshead away. Obviously, it wasn't a great performance. A triple, it was just a day to forget all around. But you mentioned the connection and what you guys did.
Yeah,
You're on the coach. See,
on
that's
the couch, apologising for those that are watching that don't know. I mean, if we weren't, the sector's like, oh, yeah, it's an aberration against a very, 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 very fine side. There were things that could have been done better, but the fact is, they know. And
yeah, and
come
also
on.
we don't go there to lose 4-0, and we don't go there to play poorly. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for you. We beat teams this season when we probably didn't deserve to win. So you're either rough with a smooth. You know, going on the coach and not apologising, but just saying thanks for your efforts. I'm not going to apologise for losing. It's the lack of effort that I'll apologise, but I don't think there's ever been a lack of effort in any games this season, to be honest. If there was, then that's a concern for me. But, you know, we'll all have bad games, that's why we're at the level. But it's more of the appreciation. Like Blythe the other day, you know, that's... But yeah, it's like going to Australia, that is. It's miles away.
Yeah.
And,
Ends of the earth.
you know, we're taking 100 people there, which is fantastic. So I think they deserve the plaudits.
I want to go back to the West Ham game now. I've talked to a few people about this, and I want to get your thoughts on this. The West Ham game was what it was. It was amazing. The BBC were here. I wasn't here, but I didn't get a ticket. Thanks for that. I keep saying that. I want to know your thoughts on the fact that the blip in the league came a bit after that. Do you think that was just pure tiredness from the FA Cup run and stuff, or what do you think?
I think we can all look for excuses when there's a blip.
Yeah.
Listen, we've been cruelly dealt with some injuries this season. You know, like 3 major injuries we've had, which is hard enough having one, but having 3, obviously Cliff Moyer twice and a Matt Preston once, alongside other niggles. Nathan Cameron was out for a month, which doesn't seem a lot, but it was a month of March.
Yeah.
Lewis Montrose trying to gain full fitness, so I think injuries was massive really. You know, unfortunately we haven't got the size of the squad to basically match what was being replaced, so I think that had a big thing to do with it, and confidence and momentum as well. expectation. After West Ham went through the roof, everyone expects you to then win the league and romp it.
They do.
Which is never going to happen, because I think realistically we are where we are. We are the 4th best team in the league at the moment, and that's where we're placing the table. So I'm not going to hide the fact that we shouldn't be any higher or lower.
Richard Lane took ownership of the club. I mean, he saved it as well. How have things changed under Richard?
Nothing's changed since he's been in. We've had a plan in the last 2 years. Obviously, he dealt with COVID, which was tough on everybody.
Yeah.
The whole club stuck together. But I think in the last year we've really just gone to levels that has been fantastic for the football club. It's maintaining them levels now and putting money back in, which I think you can see he's doing in terms of the infrastructure of the club, the way the ground looks. It's a lot tidier. The deals we've got lined up, the sponsorship. It's a good place to be at the moment.
Do you think we could get him on? Do you think you can have a chat with him and say, listen, these 2 crazy guys?
I'd put myself on before him, mate.
Yeah, that's what you do. Absolutely. Every time.
I've seen him tie a pair of boots up, so he's not for me, unfortunately.
But could you get him on the final word that we do online? Maybe.
Oh, get him on here, or even on the pitch?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you'll get him on. Coming here on a Saturday night, he's always in here with the fans after the game, so
Happy days.
have a live one.
Right, now this is a thought I had when we were watching the ladies play and we interviewed Molly. In rugby, the England ladies play literally 30-40 minutes after the men.
Yeah.
So the fans are still there if they want to be there. They don't have to pay any more to get in. They can just watch the game. Do you think that could ever happen at Harriers? I think the only reason maybe it couldn't happen is the changing room situation. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think it's a lot more to do than that. I think if it could be done, it probably would be done. I think, Wolves put a lot of money into our pitch.
Yeah.
180 minutes of football is completely different to 90 minutes of football when you have to repair it and everything. I think the science is probably more why not. I've seen a couple of games on a Sunday here. But even then, you're getting 6 hours of work. Our ground staff are working until 9 o'clock at night after a game, repairing and seeding and lighting. So it's more to do with that, not the fact that I don't think we want it. I understand your points on that.
I just thinking of ways to just get the game bigger because we're all a team, right?
Yeah.
We're all the same team. All wear the same badge, whatever it is there. So that'd be great. Did you see the April Fool's Kiddie massive shirt? Did you see that one?
Come on.
It was a white one. You saw it, didn't you?
Yeah, well,
It was white. It had Kiddie on massive, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
And then they went, "This is an April Fool's gag." That was after
Sorry, I did see it. The potential match shirt.
Yeah,
and
that was like
jumped on it.
after. Everyone jumped on it. That was like after 30 people had called and said, "Yeah, no, can I order that now?" What's going on?
I got back from school and he went. My boy went, "Dad, I'm going to try and buy this shirt." I said, "Mate, it was a joke. It was kind of a joke that backfired. It was that good." But no, listen, it's new kit will probably be on its way next year. And
Can it be that kit though? Because that kit was amazing.
It might be. I like the new kits that are coming through.
Have you seen them?
A bit better than what we got now. Put it that way. But you know what? I did say when we had this plain, boring Kappa kit, everyone was absolutely moaning. I said, "We'll have our best season in this. You watch."
Yeah.
So no one really talks about the kit at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
I probably could still, to be honest. I haven't bought it on that principle alone, and there's one just there. I
think we've jazzed it up with a few sponsors. It's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was on that Kiddie and massive thing. The last thing we want to do, I'll get the shot in because I don't think Russ is allowed to. We wouldn't want to do an AFC final, would we?
No, exactly.
It's just.
Russ, if you were given a touchline ban, by the way, have you ever had a touchline ban? No. But if you were given one, you don't look like you're going to have one, but I bet you probably could. Would you go into the crowd and watch the match from there? Also, would you start a chant?
Well, I'm not a Baz Rama who started chanting.
I know, right?
Thursday night. He looked like he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He was injured though that night, so I think we fined him for that.
Did you really? What, for his singing?
Well, he was jumping on his ankle, which was meant to have been,
Yeah.
So, anyway. I think if I've got to go upstairs, you are in the crowd anyway, aren't you? So, no, I wouldn't be crowd surfing or anything like that.
No.
I'd be fully professional. On the halfway line.
No, that's not an answer I wanted. Anyway, the crowd gets mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
Do they make a difference? Do they really make a difference?
Massively. I think the numbers we've had this year, the average of attendance is 2-4 this year, which is absolutely fantastic. They're loud. It's a lot more youthful.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know why, since COVID, every non-league club seems to have a lot more youth coming through. I don't know whether they just got fed up with the Premier League or whatever. But we've got some good numbers here, and we've got to keep them numbers. That's the biggest thing for us. We've got to keep them, make a noise. Because I remember when we played Reading at home, and Jimmy come up to me with 10 minutes to go. I knew we'd won the game, and we were so comfortable.
Yeah.
And he went, just take this in there. And it was bouncing, there was flares. Listen, I don't like flares.
No flares, no flares.
Officially.
The lights went out on the cameras, and it was like, this is what we wanted. And you know what I mean? And it was great.
I got on 606 that night.
Great.
I spoke to Chris Sutton and what's his name?
Savage.
Robbie Savage. Yeah. I was like, I knew we were going to win. They
Yeah.
were like, how'd you know? I was like, because we just were going to win. Just a bunch of kids. We were going to beat them, no probs. Now, I love this question. Have you seen when Jurgen Klopp, you know him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably best manager of all time.
Ever.
Ever. Does the fist pump thing
Yeah.
after the game. Are you going to do it? And Jimmy as well, you could take it in turns. Do you think that would be amazing? The fans would lose their mind. Come on now.
Yeah, I suppose they would, you know.
Do you want to go tomorrow?
I think there's a time and a place.
Tomorrow is the time.
Listen, we maybe we've got a good little thing going at the end of the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Where we appreciate everyone. We go around
Yeah.
all four corners of the ground. Players take the photo, sign the signatures, and this is what we want to do. Listen, I get my plaudits in other ways. You know, I don't need to fist pump people. I know I'm appreciated. I know and I appreciate them. So, you know, the fist pump's certainly something that might happen in the future. But at the moment, I'm just happy with a wave and a salute.
That is really good to see as well at the end of the game. 'Cause it's been years since we've had anything
We've
like
got
that.
we've got a good connection with people, and I want people to play for the club and want to be part of the club and feel it like the fans do. So.
Okay, that's one for the maybe.
Maybe.
It's Jimmy texted you and said, actually, I want to do a fist bump, actually.
Jimmy said, what you're doing on there?
We've had that a couple of times, I think.
Yeah, right, okay. Shane, have you got any questions? I've got two left. I've only got two. He's so good, I've got two left. He wants to go swimming, doesn't he?
Just probably go back towards the football side, really, the playing, the managing. So you mentioned coaching always seemed to be a path.
Yeah.
But how was that original transition from Russ Penn the player to Russ Penn the coach, the assistant manager, and then the caretaker, back to assistant? Just that whole journey.
Good question. I think it was a lot easier going from assistant to manager because you're in that kind of office and you're in that coaching mode.
Yeah.
Biggest thing for me was coming out playing and then being a number two to John Pemberton. Pemberton is someone obviously I respected as a player but never knew him. Thrown in the deep end with him really. We had to build our relationship and then also get the team to win games. We lasted 4 months, so it was tough 4 months that was. But probably a good reality check to where this game can lead to sometimes. Jimmy Shan come in, breath of fresh air, good 2 months with Jimmy, then he went to Solihull. So I stepped up, me and Jim, and then 4 games and then COVID hit, so that was tough. So I think I've experienced a hell of a lot in 2 years of management, I really do.
You've
It's
done it.
one thing they often say, isn't it, about young managers coming out of the game, a lot of them just couldn't get out the players' mindset. But to have that COVID break, and as you just said, experiencing a lifetime's worth of stuff in what?
Don't get me wrong,
6 months
I love the players, I love the changing room, I love the changing room banter, I love everything about being a player. And it's very hard for me and Jim sometimes to keep our distance because you want to get involved. I want to know a few players, I want to, just have a bit of banter with them. But you've also got to keep your distance and have a line. And at the end of the day, you're their boss and you've got to be respected. And by being respected, you have got to kind of stay away. And it's tough. It's tough not to go on the Christmas dues. It's tough not to be wearing fancy dresses in Newcastle and Liverpool. But been there, done it, and we move on.
So were you and Jimmy good friends before this elite partnership came about? No.
We knew each other, no.
So how did that come about?
Put together. I remember the owners rang me up when Jimmy Shan left and said, look, you've got to take the game tomorrow against Farsley. And I was on my own with a couple of goalkeeper staff and S&C coaches, and I just rang Jimmy, who was in the academy, and I said, look, Jim, come and help me out for the next month, 2 months till the end of the season. He jumped at it, kind of found a little bond there, and we went from there. Really. I think having the COVID off-season, 4 months of planning and prepping. By the way, Richard and Neil Mail at the time gave us the job of 4 games. So they must have had some kind of trust in us, but a great opportunity, and we just jumped in, dived in head first, and the rest is history.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you like go on holidays together to like Centre Parks and
No,
stuff?
no.
Why are you ruining it? Why are you ruining it?
I don't like him that much. No, we're good workmates, and we're good friends now. And families are good friends, but we see a lot of each other, and to keep it fresh and healthy, we've all got to have our family time.
Yeah, absolutely. So far on this magical final word journey, AMS has invited us for a Costa on a Wednesday, which was the most surreal thing, because Wednesdays is
Did you
lonely. No, I'm
in Wales. He won't buy you one, mate.
No, I know. I know.
He'll be getting one off you.
He acted like he was going to though. He's like, "What's your what would you have?" And I was like, "Here you go. He's going to buy me one." Because it's Wednesdays is lonely day. He ain't got a girlfriend. When he signed his contract, did you not think, let's try and put a girlfriend in there, and that clause in there as well, from Kidderminster, so that'll make him want to stay a bit longer?
No, nothing like that at all. But lonely Wednesday, I don't like that, Moles. I'm going to have to ring you up on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Nah, listen, the lads have a day off on Wednesday because they are knackered, so
Yeah.
he'll be doing his golfing. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a few women out there wanting a bit about him more especially when he's scoring 17 goals and telling the world about it. So,
absolutely.
Whatever he does, he's up to him.
I think we all wanted a piece of him when he sat on that Reading goalkeeper and that.
Yeah. How that one counted on, I don't know. It was good.
You can't put the ball in there, pull everyone else in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just close your eyes, give it all that magic. Alex Penny gave us the knowledge of China Lodge being the best Chinese in Kidderminster, which was good. You see where this is going?
Yeah.
And man like Cara wants to take us for a relaxing gym session on a Wednesday. It's always Wednesday. He said, so we said to him, what do you do on a Wednesday? And he said, well, I go to the gym, I might lift. He was so relaxed about it. He said, yeah, I might lift a couple of weights, might sit in the steam room for a couple of hours, and I might have a coffee. And then it transpired that he said, well, if you come up, I'll get you a coffee. And that was it. I was like, we're going to drive all the way for a coffee. Yeah, why not? That sounds really good. So my question is, what can you give us, Russ?
I'll tell you what you can do. You can come swimming with me on a Friday night.
On a Friday.
Get our trunks on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, listen, I like going out for coffees. I like going for a beer. I like socialising.
Yeah.
I like watching the football. But I also like a lot of family time. So, I'm all in here when I'm at the football club. I'm all in. And when I do get any free time, I like to socialise with mates and friends.
You basically just turned us right down there, I think. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Politely.
Absolutely. It's okay, it's fine.
I blame that weirdo.
Which one? You mean?
Somebody was passing by.
I mean,
I think.
I mean, if you could get me a ticket for the game tomorrow, that'd be amazing as well. Right. So anyway, just to let you know. Right. So Russ, it's been amazing. I would have wrote more questions if I'd have known.
I've got a few up here. Just more football.
I've done that many of these, mate. It's roll for time. It's good. But it's more casual, which I like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I knew you liked, and that's why I wanted to get this done, and I wanted to, definitely want to have it done this season. Not saying there won't be another season. I'm just saying, make sure it's done this season. So I don't know if you've seen, but because it's called the final word, it's your chance to have the final word. So you can say whatever you like. You can give it the old Winston Churchill Farm on the Beaches speech or whatever. The camera's over there. If you want to G up the fans or whatever, that's absolutely fine.
Well, I don't think they need to G up the fans. I think they'll do that themselves. But we've got a massive 3 weeks ahead of us potentially, and we need everyone on board, from number 1 in goal to keeping the top stand in Rosed.
Yeah.
Because for us to achieve what we want to achieve, we need to do it as a club and as a team. And I'm really looking forward to the next 3 weeks. I think where we've put the club back on the map from 2 years ago is something that I'm really proud of, but we ain't finished yet.
Perfect. But before we go anywhere, Shane, can you make a question up, please, quickly? Because I bought you something, Russ.
Okay.
I bought you something. It's
Excellent.
amazing. Oh.
Well, Wes, I was off over there.
Yeah.
You mentioned Keith. Obviously, the news came out yesterday. What a servant who you've known him and who've said for years, played with him, and them kids. It's going to be so lucky. You can just tell as a fan.
Yeah.
Well, I asked Mark the same question. Who in the squad do you think
could take that step into coaching the next Russ Penn if you followed me? Who do you think could?
Listen, coaching's not for everybody. Coaching's not for Keith Lowe. Coaching might not be for Mark Carrington, might not be for Lewis Montrose. You've got to have that heart and desire to do it. It's hard work, and fortunately for me and Jim, we did everything while we were playing. So I don't know, you've got to love the game. So someone like Caleb Richards, but he's 22, but he loves the game. He lives and dies by the game. I think you've got to have that, but that could easily be lost in the next 5 years because I know our football is so mentally draining. You've got to have that love when you're at 35, never mind 22.
Well, one thing I was going to ask, there's a lot less football chat, which is brilliant, but one thing I did want to touch on, we all know your storied career, record signing for Paul Peskin-Salido at Burton at the time. There's a lot of discourse usually with young managers of taking a bit from him and him. Did you find that as well?
Yeah.
Who would you say has been your greatest managerial influence from your playing days?
No, good. You actually learn from the bad managers you've had as well, in terms of what not to do. And even the bad managers had some good bits, but they just had more shit bits. But no, like Nigel Worthington, he wasn't tactically a great manager, but the way he managed me was unbelievable. And that, just by managing me, got the best out of me in terms of my performance. So I had a fantastic time with him, albeit for 10 months at York. He was my best manager, but I've had some good managers. I've had Mark Yates, who was young, enthusiastic, fresh when he come on the scene at Kidderminster, signed me for Cheltenham, give me about 8 contracts in my career, so I owe a lot to him as well. Gary Rowett at Burton, some really good managers, so I've been blessed really, I really have.
Brilliant.
Right.
Where's comes bearing gifts now?
Because because Russ has been on the final word, obviously only fitting to...
And do you know what? I love a brew as well.
Yeah.
This is perfect, mate. This is perfect. But Jimmy's got to be asking where's his.
He's not
He's
here.
got to go on
He's
first.
not here, is he?
Well, he's got to do the next one, isn't
Yeah, of course. We'll get Jimmy on.
So save it, mate.
Save it for Jimmy.
We'll blackmail him, you only get a move if you do it.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much, guys.
That's all right.
And listen, this is a lot different to the radios and the podcasts that I do. This is a lot more relaxed. I've just come off the training ground, so you've got me in a good place at the moment, mate.
Best place.
So, no, thank you very much.
It's all right. Thank you so much, dear Shane. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So that's the end. That's the end of it. Russ Penn, final word. Perfect stuff. Thank you so much.